believe again. If you happy, then be with him. Go ahead, mommy, breathe again.
When it hurt, I ease the pain, girl. Caress your frame, get them worries off your brain, girl.
If you use my approach, you can dock both. Yeah, you can get exposed to all that.
When a lawyer known for defending actual war criminals decides you're too toxic to touch, that's not just a red flag, that's a death sentence. And the fallout? It could rip the entire entertainment industry apart. So, buckle up, because this story isn't just about Diddy anymore. It's about the elite networks that protected him, and what happens when the walls finally collapse. Keep watching. You won't believe how deep this scandal really goes. The moment Diddy's high-powered defense attorney, the same guy who once fought for literal war criminals like Osama bin Laden, abruptly quit, the entire music industry froze. This wasn't just a messy legal switch-up. This was a 5-alarm, all-hands-on-deck disaster. Because when a lawyer who built his career defending the untouchable crowd suddenly decides you're too radioactive to stand beside, that's not a red flag. That's a full-blown evacuation siren. Legal insiders are still spinning. Why would a top-dollar attorney walk away from a billionaire client right when the stakes were highest? The whispers are deafening. Did he see evidence so toxic even he couldn't clean it up? Or was it something else? And now, in full panic mode, Diddy's team is clinging to two disastrous narratives. In a desperate attempt to spin public sympathy, Diddy's camp is pushing the idea that he's being targeted because of his race, despite the fact that he's a billionaire mogul who's spent decades insulated by fame, power, and money. It's a strategy straight out of the crisis PR playbook: deflect, distract, and hope the public forgets. But this time, it's falling flat. Even longtime supporters are side-eyeing the claim, asking how a man who's lived lavishly off the very system he's now criticizing suddenly became its victim. And if the first defense wasn't tone-deaf enough, the second is even worse. Instead of taking accountability, Diddy's legal team is floating the dangerous, outdated narrative that Cassie somehow consented to the abuse. It's a strategy so offensive, so wildly out of touch with the cultural moment, that it's blowing up spectacularly. Survivors, activists, and even former industry allies are distancing themselves fast, because blaming the victim isn't just bad optics anymore. It's career suicide. The Diddy list and the Epstein client list are stirring up a firestorm. And if even half the rumors are true, we're looking at a reckoning like nothing the world has ever seen. Kash Patel, former chief of staff at the Department of Defense under Donald Trump, just dropped the match. He's been calling for full transparency. And he's hinting hard at the existence of a Diddy list.
We're going to come after you. Whether it's criminally or civilly, we'll figure that out. But yeah, we're putting you all on notice.
This alleged list supposedly names the insiders, enablers, and silent witnesses connected to Sean Diddy Combs' most disturbing accusations. We're talking about secret parties, criminal cover-ups, and powerful people who look the other way, or worse. While Diddy's legal team has strongly denied all wrongdoing, the whispers aren't dying down. They're getting louder, and if you think it ends there, you are dead wrong. The Epstein client list, a dark cloud that's hung over the rich and powerful for years, is back in the spotlight. Jeffrey Epstein, the convicted sex offender with ties to billionaires, politicians, and celebrities, died before he could reveal his full network. Some flight logs and court documents have leaked over time, but insiders say a much bigger, more explosive list still exists. And now, Donald Trump is hinting that, if reelected, he might drop the whole thing, every name, every connection. No more protection for the elite.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know it. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there, because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world.
If these lists come out, and if names like Diddy's show up on both, it's not just about lawsuits anymore. We're talking about a global scandal. Political careers would end. Billion-dollar corporations would collapse. Entire industries could get dragged into the abyss. Because make no mistake, this isn't just about one man. It's about an entire system of power, money, and silence that's been rotting from the inside for decades. And when it finally cracks open, the fallout will be seismic. And when the Diddy list leaks, and trust me, it will, it's not just Diddy's career that's dead, it's the entire rotten system that protected him. And this time, the cover-up won't be enough to stop the fire. And the most chilling development, the victims aren't hiding anymore. Despite Diddy's legal team aggressively trying to expose their names, a dirty intimidation tactic straight out of the old Hollywood playbook, the survivors are standing up and telling their stories. And what they're revealing is even darker than anyone feared.
The day will come when we will name names other than Sean Combs, and there's a lot of names. It's a long list already. And of course, I already know who some of these individuals are, but because of the nature of this case, we're going to make damn sure that we're right before we do that. But the names that we're going to name, assuming that our investigators confirm and corroborate what we've been told, are names that will shock you.
Insiders now claim that studio sessions, which were supposed to launch music careers, were actually fronts for something far more sinister. Women were allegedly flown in under the pretense of recording music, only to find out the sessions had nothing to do with making songs. These weren't networking opportunities, these were setups designed to trap and exploit the vulnerable.
Diddy's $20 million Star Island pad hosted drug-fueled sex parties with workers.
And then there's the baby oil seized during the police raid on Diddy's properties. At first glance, it might seem like an innocent item, but law enforcement insiders are saying otherwise. Allegations suggest the baby oil was used in grim, non-consensual setups where women were drugged, assaulted, and filmed. It wasn't innocent, it was evidence.
How do you explain the baby oil and the lubricants? 1,000 bottles of baby oil.
I don't think it was 1,000. I think it was a lot. I mean, there's a Costco right down the street. You know, I think Americans buy in bulk, as we know. And, you know, this is consensual adults doing what consensual adults do.
Even more damning, the whispers around Biggie's murder are getting louder. Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Deal, just rocked the internet by implying he knows who gave the order to take Biggie out. And he didn't exactly clear Diddy's name.
I goes to open the door. Next thing you know, you hear it say, pow! Pap, 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 pap. Yeah. 5 or 6 cars were like, pap, 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 pap.
After years of silence, even people who once stood shoulder to shoulder with Bad Boy are starting to break ranks.
Kenny guns the car going forward. I said, Kenny, what the is you doing? He said they shooting at Big. He said, we don't know who they shooting at.
And now you must be wondering, with all this mounting pressure, why would Diddy's top criminal defense attorney, Anthony Rico, suddenly back out of the biggest case of his career? Rico officially filed a motion with the court, stating he could no longer effectively serve Diddy. But thanks to attorney-client privilege, he can't say why. His exact words? Although I have provided Sean Combs with the high level of legal representation expected by the court, under no circumstances can I continue to effectively serve as counsel for Sean Combs. Translation: something behind the scenes is so toxic, he had to run and he legally can't explain it. Currently, Mark Agnifilo, another legal heavy hitter, is stepping into the fire. He's already said Diddy is eager to testify, calling him an innocent man with nothing to hide. That's a bold strategy. But putting Diddy on the stand could blow everything wide open if the prosecution gets him cornered. And here's the real deal. While the legal team shuffles players around, 6 new federal lawsuits have just been filed against Diddy, and these aren't small claims. They are graphic, brutal, and detailed, painting a picture of systematic abuse, intimidation, trafficking, and worse. All in all, it's safe to say Diddy's empire isn't crumbling, it's being erased. So here's the real question. When the Diddy list drops, who else is going down with him? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.